All right, folks, so very common question nowadays, and it has been for a while. Is market in Canada actually falling? Well, there has been a debate. Even on this channel, we went through so many commentaries, we went through so many videos explaining that it is actually worse than it seems. But many people say, hey, hold on a second. Maybe in Ontario we have a problem, but British Columbia is another story. Vancouver is protected somehow, and it's not as bad as everywhere else in Canada, especially Southern Ontario. You were watching my videos here on this channel, and you know that I've been covering Toronto for a long time, Southern Toronto specifically, and I covered condo segment, I covered detached real estate, new builds, foreclosures, and so many other topics. But many on this channel of subscribers and viewers have asked me to do something in Vancouver, British Columbia, to match the numbers, to see if this is actually really happening. So I chose three specific properties to show you. Ever since the peak, we have seen declining numbers in Vancouver. So we'll get into that. I'll share my screen, I'll show you data, and we'll see what is going on. What I would also love to know from you guys, is this really worth it? I mean, some of these homes, let's say average of 5,000 square feet, were like in the ballpark of $9 million, valued of $9 million. Are you kidding me right now? So who is buying? Who is fueling this market? By the way, this $9 million was way before the peak. So you can imagine what was happening throughout. So who adjusts? What happens? Who is buying? Are people actually losing their shirt in Vancouver? So I would also like to add that sometimes media shows numbers and shows trajectories a little bit different, right? It's a marketing campaign. It's making things seem flawless. But let's get into this video. And the first property that I had in mind here is 1189 32nd Avenue West in Vancouver. So as you know, this value was assessed at $7,807,000. This was the assessment of July 1st of 2025. You can see here land value more than $4 million and building value is almost $3.7 million, right? But now this is interesting here. We see the graph and we see that the properties went up by 15% in 2022, by 5% on average in 2023, by negative 1% in 2024, negative 1% in 2025, and negative 5% in 2026. So having said that, even though these numbers are small in increments, they make a big deal because it's an average assessment and the impact is larger than these small numbers. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. If you see here, this particular graph, property values of the city, and you see that this specific property was sold or was bought in 2017 for $9 million right here. And ever since, it kept going down and down and down and down. We hit kind of the bottom value, and then obviously throughout the pandemic it went up. So this is exactly what I mean. I made this here and kaboom, right? So this property bought for $9 million in 2017 and just sold for $6 million, 690,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a loss of $2.3 million plus expenses. And if you have ever sold, you understand exactly that expenses are not cheap. Commissions, land transfer tax that has been bought, like everything, if you take into consideration, you can add easily couple $100,000 on this particular loss. So you see here that it's definitely crazy, right? So let's move on. We have another property. It's Mackenzie Street in Vancouver. I'll just bring it up here in a second. It'll take a second to load. All right, so this particular value was valued at $4.5 million, July 1st, 2025. So this is the assessment for the year of 2026. So same idea here, right? Like, and the interesting phenomena here is that the property valued in this particular neighborhood, they went down by 12% in 2026. You see the graph. We have seen positive numbers, obviously 2022, 2023, even held in a positive 2024, 5, and then finally 2026 slash 12%. So how does this look in numbers? So if we pull this up here, we see that there's a loss of $1.475 million plus, you guessed it, expenses, right? So this property has been bought in 2017 for $4,250,000, then sold again for $5.2 million. So that was a profit literally of $950,000 within 1 year stretch in this particular period. But then finally they just sold for $3,725,000 and a tremendous loss. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you see? What do you see in Vancouver? I'm showing you examples. I'll show you one more example, but this is exactly what I would like to show you, is that luxury segment, because there is a stigma, an aura, a phenomena that Vancouver is expensive, is ultra rich, mega rich, never falls. Well, here are the examples in one of the best areas, and these properties are worth in millions of dollars. So let's continue. We have something that's also smaller, but definitely interesting to look at. So this particular property at 1895 60th Avenue West in Vancouver, valued at $3.4 million nearly, was built in 2017. But same idea here. You see that the properties went up by 12% in 2022, obviously the peak. And you see the graph, like this is, the graph shows the same trajectory on all three properties, and we see where the peak is. And ever since from the peak, we see a sharp decline, and it keeps going and ongoing, right? So how does this look in terms of math? So pretty simple. This property sold in 2015 for $3.5 million plus, then sold again in 2016 for $4.2 million. So that's a gain, a crazy gain, okay? Like more than seven, what are we talking about? $800,000 easily here. So then in 2018, we have seen a loss, and then just sold for 3.18, right? So someone in between here lost their shirt between 2016 and 2018, and they just sold for 3.18 million. So why they sold, we don't know. People are going through all kinds of different issues and problems, and it's not only the market, there's also personal issues that people go through, and it's called life and business and whatever, right? So the whole exercise of this video is to show that properties do go down, right? Like as much as they can go up, and we have seen the market, and I can conclude that the period of 2015 and 16 was extremely strong, and it was strong in Toronto, like the Southern Ontario. We have seen especially The city like was very strong. It felt like people could actually afford, even though it was expensive, but people could make the difference. They could, if they saved a little bit, if they didn't spend on luxuries or whatever, they could make these ends meet. However, the prices were ridiculous. Like I even traded at that time, and I remember like multiple offers, and it was just nuts. So I think same thing happened in that period of 2015, 16, and 17, and then we've seen a little break, and then again through the pandemic we've seen another huge spike, which was ridiculous. So I would like you to comment on this video, especially you people local, like local from Vancouver, like if you ever visited the island. What is going on? Like, what is going on in Vancouver? Because what I see here and what I see in graphs, and obviously these graphs will be different in different segments of real estate and different price brackets. But nevertheless, the trajectory is same. There's a declining trajectory in Vancouver, and all of you that are saying no, Vancouver is not falling, like everybody is buying and there are multiple offers everywhere. I don't think so, to be honest with you. So comment below what you think. I hope you gained some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.